Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, down in reports, Talking Leads Job Corps, Ms. Diane Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right.
I just want to say happy St. Patrick's Day month, and also acknowledge the women on the council, because this is National Women's History Month. And if you look at those pictures up there on the wall, you guys have really come a long way, because you almost represent over half the council. That's quite an accomplishment.
Marriage and women.
My students were going to acknowledge you with your accomplishments, but because of the snow, we didn't we got things pushed back. So at the end of the month, we'll have something for you guys. Our department is co-sponsoring a food service job fair tomorrow at the Hard Rock. I think you've probably seen this on the website. I just wanted to remind you. This is the first of several job fairs that we'll be working with Bob Thomas and Vivian Phillips at CNB, and it's on food service, and we're working with them on some of the career ladders, so just wanted to share that with you. We've also got, we're planning for the month of April and May, some vendors that will be working with us. We have job fairs scheduled at Hard Rock and at West Siloam Springs for positions in the area, whether they be externally or internally. I'd like to introduce my new administrative assistant. His name is Hunter Palmer. He is from Tahlequah. He is a graduate of Northeastern State University with a business administration degree with an emphasis in human services. Stand up. This is the guy that you'll call if you need anything from my office. If you can't reach me, well, he'll be the person. He's going to be working right outside my office. This is the first time I've ever had a guy working for me, so I don't know how this is going to work. We'll see. Very well educated.
You got a telephone?
He will have. He's not on that list that we gave out. Today was his first day. I obtained him from Home Health, believe it or not. He wanted to come to work for me. So anyway, everybody's saying good luck. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And I said come to the council meeting so you'll know who everybody is, so that when Councilwoman Hargis calls you, or Councilwoman Taylor, or Councilman Buzzard calls you, any of these council members, you'll know who they are. We've got a corporate review coming up at Talking Leaves Job Corps Center in May, and one of the things that we do is we do a corporate review before the Dallas regional office comes up, and our new director for contracts compliance, evaluation and compliance, Scott Otten, he and I had lunch a couple of weeks ago, so we're tag teaming with some of my administrative staff and his people. We're going to get it knocked out in several days. We're going back over the review that they did a year ago, so hopefully we'll have that ready when they get up here in May. We've got Cherokee Career Connections. I saw Molly back there. Molly and her team of Ben Elder, Sharon Price, and of course Bob and Vivian have been working with our team headed by Deborah Lack. We are changing, I told you last month, from the Jobs Well Done to Cherokee Career Connections, and hopefully we'll have our website up and running real soon. We have a conference call this Friday, so that we're trying to get that off and running, so that we'll have information about some of the businesses that we're working with and jobs that are out there on that website. So we'll bring you more information next month. And we're collaborating with Housing and Community Development, as Gary and Ron told you. I know that Councilman Buzzard asked about the youth bill. If you would allow me to wait until the executive and finance, because we're going to have the resolution coming before you then. It's not a new grant, new initiative. We've applied for it in the past. It's just a training program, and it's funded by the United States Department of Labor. It used to be funded by HUD, and they switched over to DOL. So it's a training program, but with an emphasis in housing. So we're going to be working with housing and rehab to enhance some of the things they're doing. So we'll explain all that to you. We've got Administrative Professional Day coming up in April, and we're going to be inviting some of you to our luncheon that we have for all of our business students, and we do it over at Job Corps every year, so we'll even invite some of the guys over, so we always have good food. And the 30th of this month is our Job Corps Legislative Day at the State Capitol, and I've got staff that will be attending the NORA Education Summit at the Mid-America Industrial Park on March 13th. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Kelly? Yes, Council Lady Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could you give us an update on the Macy's project and how that's going?
We completed the construction fair. We had conference call last Wednesday. Mr. Stokes indicated that we had an overwhelming turnout of vendors. and he was very pleased. He said that some of them were very elated that the project was so big, and a lot of them weren't going to be capable to come up to the speed. So what they're doing is they're working with them in partnership so that maybe two of them can pair off together to do some of the services that they need, because it's going to be a very extensive project, and some of them were a little flabbergasted when they got there. It was so big and intense. He said that they felt very comfortable with the people that showed up. He complimented John Overacker. He called him John Bird. And I don't know if he got him mixed up with you, Councilman Bird, or if he got John mixed up with Joe, but
Well, remember
I
that
wasn't
night
sure.
John said he was gonna go?
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's probably what it was.
He's bad to shadow me that way.
So if you get an email, it might be from you or it might be John, but he was able to get John to get two other vendors there that morning. There was two areas that they didn't have anybody that showed up for it, and they'd sent invitations to them. And so John got on the telephone and called, and they went on ahead and worked with those two. And they were Indian vendors. Over half of the vendors that showed up were on our terror list, so that says a lot for the area. They said they've never had this many people show up for a vendor fair, any place they've gone to, so that's
I know
good.
you've been reporting about it, but will you report also on actuals achieved?
If
on
they
the
give me a
vendors?
list of who they actually go with, I will.
And at what point will we start seeing job fairs?
He says that they will be doing some more vendors, probably this summer. The groundbreaking is slated for April, and after April, they're hoping to give us some sort of a grid for the rest of the year so that we can anticipate when they're going to actually start recruiting for the positions. They have different teams that work on different aspects of that whole thing, so I'll be working with different teams. And this was just his piece of it, which was the onset of getting the general and the subs. And then somebody else will be working on the next piece of it, and then somebody else will be working on the last leg of it.
Okay, and when if there's opportunities in our area, I know that both Councilman Keener and Councilman Lay would, because Skytook's close enough in proximity, I'd appreciate being included, and so far I haven't really seen anything, so.
The reason you haven't seen anything is because we're not in control of it. We had asked to do some sort of publicity on that, and Mr. Stokes told us that the people in New York City had to wait on that. They are working through the Tulsa Chamber, and they're working with the Owasso Chamber, and they're trying to coordinate some of that, and they didn't really want to do a lot until after their groundbreaking, and then from there they would actually start doing some news splashes. But the newspaper people are coordinating with Amanda, and Amanda's working with them, and so she's hooked in with them on various events that they're going to have.
And thanks for your help with Next Gen and Claremore. I know that Lee, Councilman Keener, had actually had that meeting, and it sounds like there was miscommunication on their part, and I appreciate your team having such details for us. If you could keep us posted on that, I know I'd appreciate it. Then, was there any where you were gonna have the actuals or deliverables on Shane Kirby? Or do I have to wait for a FOIA response, the contract?
You didn't ask for that. I did explain to you what he was doing in the last committee meeting, but I'm not doing the FOIA. That would come through the
Okay.
AG's office.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Ms. Hardy.
And I understand Landra Alberti is able to do state teacher certification testing now. Is that true?
I think my understanding is that we can, we're just not ready yet. The state has asked us to be able to do that. We have not had any meetings with them to get everything in line. We're trying to get those centers up and running. We just got one or two of them going here in the last couple of weeks. But that will be something that we'll be
You
able to
intend
do
to do
later
that?
on, yes.
Okay, I think that's a great thing, because I know, in Adair County, you have to drive to Tulsa, and you have to get up awful early, because I had to do that.
Yeah.
But,
Well, one of the
will you
things-
let us know?
I
when you
will.
do that?
One of the things we've got to get worked out with them is the fees and what they're going to actually charge, and then what our fee would be for actually administering it, and what all's entailed as far as, whether it goes into the state or whether there is a process for us to check it off right there on the site.
Well, I think that'd be a great thing for our people, to keep it down this way.
Well, we're looking forward to, Salisaw's working with us. Addie Griffin is working with us at their center there in Salisaw, so that Landry can go over and do some testing over there for at least a couple times a month. So we appreciate them opening that up. But there's only going to be about 18 or 20 sites in the whole state.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Kelly? Sam, Ms. Kelly, great report.
Thank you, sir.
Look forward to seeing you next month. All right, next we got Executive Director's Report. Bill, yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. Stephanie's here.
Stephanie,
We're already doing
come on up.
You have a question about the,
State teacher certification.
Yes, yeah.
yes, we've already started that, and actually in Stillwell, we have, I forgot the last numbers, we've got about 12 or 13 people that are gonna test in 1 week, just for the
Have we
state.
advertised that or let the
Certification
schools
teacher.
know so that the teachers?
No, we have a advertising thing that's gonna come out, we've actually put ads in the paper, we're also doing news articles. We were just notified by Pearson View, they asked us if we would be willing to test in that area. We said yes, definitely we would. So that's going to be part of our outreach that we're getting ready to do over the next few weeks. But yes, we're testing more of them right now than we are GED.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Ando, Dr. Sly.
Okay, you have our report and our monthly report, and also I passed out today the numbers that were requested for on the graduate students that are seeking their doctoral degrees. The project, if you go across there, and you know, we told you last month how many semesters they were funded. And then we've looked at it and we've compiled what we have as far as those the persons who are seeking a PhD, the individuals, and when their graduation date is, and the number of semesters they will go unfunded. That was the closest that we could get to the information that you were asking, and because we can't predict who will go for a doctorate and who won't. The other thing that we have is your the CAR funding history and the CAR tag student count history by school, by county. And so, do you have any?
Yes, Jody Fishnaw.
Last month I'd asked Dr. Morton to break that down for me, and I wanted it broken down without the 2-mile zone in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked also that it be broken down where Sequoia and immersion and everything don't get the double numbers, so we can get a true picture.
I can distribute that.
Yeah, we have it. Any other questions while he's getting that?
Yes, Councilman Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And is that the same as what you'd emailed me before, or is this?
It's different.
Okay, would you email this to us?
Yes, I can get it and email it to you. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because it's not on my computer. Someone else prepared it.
Yes, Speaker Jordan.
Gloria,
Yes, ma'am.
on this list on the doctoral students,
Uh-huh.
would each one of these represent an individual doctoral student?
Yes,
So this is how many that we have in the pipeline right now?
right now, yes, ma'am.
And if we funded them fully, we would be funding, like number one would be funded 2 more semesters.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how that works?
Yes, ma'am.
And number 2, human services, does that just take an extra long time to get through, or what's the?
On the human services, it depends, because with, on the social sciences, when you take your class, your classes, a doctorate is normally 75 hours, and then an extra 15 for your dissertation, which is 90 hours. And most people are working and don't just do a big enough load to graduate in the amount of time. Now,
Well, how many semesters will that mean that individual goes?
I don't have the record. I could find out for you, but from the regular 90-hour doctoral level, you're allowed to take 9 a semester during the regular semester, which would be 18, and then 6 in the summer is 24. So you would have to go quite some time, even if you're going full-time. Right, yeah. And they've already most of them have already timed out. As he said, we've already funded them the semesters they can attend by the time they finish their masters.
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is our total pool of doctoral applicants.
Right.
We would need funding for,
At the max, the 6 semesters for the one in the human services.
so we need basically 28 extra semester pay total on this side. If we went the full, if we funded our ones that are in the pool now, we're talking 28 extra semesters.
Yes, because it normally takes 5 years to complete. So,
And, well, we can talk more when we get to
yeah,
that.
we can do it. Yeah, and we can do it on the side if you want, so I can
Well,
bring you.
we've got it coming up on our agenda here in a
Right,
minute. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Dr. Slide, this is good information. And, this is good. Appreciate you.
We'll pass it on to the staff then.
Yes, Chief Bird.
You may be able to answer this, and it's probably a simple answer, but I don't know it. How come Sequoia High School does not receive JOM money?
For your experience on that one.
Right.
That's a great question.
Well, it
It's-
is, I mean, I looked into it, and I was thinking, is it because of our jurisdiction?
No, it's the funding source. Both of them are DOI, and they would consider it double dipping if we got JOM plus the school funding, the formula funding.
Okay, so other schools only get one source of that funding?
Yes,
Okay, and right now, we're getting the school formula.
right. So,
Good answer, I've been meaning to ask that.
yes.
Dr. Sly, just regards to Joe's question, so Riverside and other BIE schools do not receive JOM funding?
No, no.
Okay.
They don't even receive, they rarely receive tribal funding as our school does, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Fishnell,
Yeah, Gloria, you need to hang around till the end of the meeting.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think we might need to talk to you in executive session.
Sure.
all right. Speaker Jordan, do you have a comment or a question?
No, it was just some more about
Okay,
this,
all right.
and it can wait till we get to that.
Okay. Is there any other questions, comments? Great report, Dr. Sly, Mr. Ando, good report. Appreciate you guys. All right, next, we got Head Start, Verna Thompson. Dr. Sly is Verna Thompson.
I'm sorry, I have to wear 2 hats today. I'm Verna, and she could not make the meeting today. As you know, she finally has her their assessment and to scheduled March 31st. She's meeting with the captain of that team to be coming in today so that they'll have everything prepared. So she sends her regrets. She'd much rather be here, but she's looking forward to getting that visit over to that review process.
Thank you, Verna. I
So
mean,
any
Dr. Sly.
questions that I need to carry to her?
Any questions? All right, we're good. Thank you. All right,
Okay.
have a good evening. Enjoy the weather. Sequoia High School, Leroy Qualls.
Good afternoon, everyone. Looking at the report here, some of this ages out pretty quickly because things change so fast with schools. But I would say that our band put on a real good exhibition at the regional band tournament, OSSAA tournament. The part that you have as district champions for boys and girls, they're now regional and area champions, and they're both state tournament qualifiers. Anything you really need to know about the state tournament is on the website, including brackets. There will be fan buses leaving Thursday at 10 a.m. The boys play at 2 o'clock. Thursday afternoon. Against Sperry, the girls will play that evening at 7 against Heritage Hall. The girls will play at Carl Albert, and the girls will play at Southern Nazarene. We also had winners in the speech and debate and the oratory. I've got those listed for you. We also had our drama is putting on a play, Beauty and the Beast, and that is scheduled for May the 2nd. Our drama teacher does an excellent job with our drama kids, and auditions will be in March. Anyone knowing of anyone interested can contact our teacher, Amanda Ray. She does a marvelous job with our drama kids. We had a wrestler, Will Tiger, that had a record-breaking year. He went farther than any other wrestler has in the history of Sequoia wrestling. He got to the semis in the state tournament. Also, we had some academic scholars this year, Oklahoma academic scholars that we haven't had in a few years, and we had 2, Melody Proctor and Colby Looper. Did an outstanding job. Sequoia schools, we're taking applications presently. They can be picked up at school or they can be done online. And this year, we're going to get notification out to the students if they're accepted by June the 2nd. And that has been later in the month, and I think year before last it was even late July, which creates a hardship for surrounding schools and a lot of people, so we're trying to get ahead of the game there. We have 2 pages this summer, one for Dr. Earl Garrison and also one for Mike Brown. And just this past week, we had 14 state qualifiers in powerlifting. Powerlifters won the regional tournament. There's a possibility that we may have more than 14. They've got to go in and look at the lists and the tiebreakers, but we know we do have 14 in the state tournament in that. And the final announcement here is a dandy. We've got 8 finalists for the Gates Millennium Scholarship. Just got word of that this morning. And we should know within 2 weeks who has been awarded Gates Millennium Scholarships. I want to add that I handed out to you a sheet that I don't know if you've got in front of you. It's called School-Based Specialist Report to Superintendent. With that, it's just a report on, we say school-based specialist, we had to rename the school-based social worker, if you would. She has done an outstanding job for the school in helping kids with a lot of traumatic and tough events that they've gone through in their lives. And she just listed some things there that have served our kids, like 35 referred to care team meetings. That was referrals done by teachers or staff. Also, down toward the bottom, the clothing closet has started that I mentioned that we were trying to get off the ground, and we've had over 30 served, over 30 kids that have been able to go get new clothes from the clothing closet, which is located in the dorms. And the mentor program, we've got we have 25 presenters that's gone out to 8th grade schools, dependent schools, to give presentations and talks about different types of things, and they mentored our school. So I just threw that in there for you today to look at so you can see what kind of what our school-based specialist has been doing. Are there any questions about anything on the report or that's not on the report?
Questions, Mr. Qualls?
I'd just like to commend the faculty for doing an outstanding job in raising academics there at Sequoia High School. And of course, the students for all the participation they've been doing at the state level. And also the coaches and players for making it to state playoffs. There's a lot of teams that are staying home this week and they get the opportunity to go to state playoffs. I was at the game the other night at Shakota, and that's a new facility. I was visiting with the administrator there. They said that's the largest crowd they ever had. It was because of our fans, because we made up 65-70% of that fan base there. And then the behavior of the crowd and the students. That's what I wanted to compliment you guys, the coaches. They did a really outstanding job with the sportsmanship aspect of the game.
Thank you, sir. And I would add that, our academics and our student behavior, our teaching staff, support staff, everybody is bought in. It's totally a teamwork thing. It's not any one individual that's doing it. Even the students have bought in. That's what makes it special.
Speaker Jordan.
How many students do we have in our senior class?
90?
And so about 10% of them are Gates finalists.
Yes, ma'am, close to it.
Probably about the biggest in the country.
Pretty good,
Percentage
yes,
wise?
yeah, absolutely. It's up there. I think, I asked the teacher to go back, and she found, I think one year there was 8 finalists a different year. But that's been the tops.
That's great, it really is. I'm just real proud of them. And I would like to make an announcement for the body. Shelley's son is also a Gates
I
finalist.
saw that. I've got connections.
Good luck
He's
to
a
all
good
of
kid.
them.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, Mr. Qualls, how many openings do we got for the new applications?
Student openings?
Yes, sir.
We really, it's hard to say at this point.
We have 90, we have 90 seniors.
We have 90 students graduating, that's true.
That's a guaranteed
But
90.
we've got 39 eighth graders as opposed to 20 is the max that we've ever had. So we have to take that in consideration, considering all of those eighth graders apply. I mentioned having upwards of 100 turned away. That was 2 years ago, but that was 86 was a precise number on that. It's hard to say at this point, but I do know that we have a stack of applications already about that high. I don't know how many. I know it's this high. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, when I was a senior, I believe we had 50, 58, 59 seniors, so the school's increased a lot as far as seniors goes, and we had 0 Gates scholars, and to see the school just climbing that, especially 8 this year, that's just amazing to see, and especially, I guess the Smith retired last year, and the lady that you filled her with evidently didn't drop the ball.
We've added some very good staff members,
Yeah.
and Ms. Smith was wonderful.
Keep up the good
See
work,
good
Coach.
things for Sequoia, I hope, in the next few years because of the staff we have and that we've brought on.
Mr. Qualls, would you like to share with everyone some of the projects you got going on to school improvements?
Well, I think I did last time, but the stoplight, which I saw the letter from Chief Baker back when he did some kind of resolution or started something. The traffic light that we'll have, I saw the cost on that, and it's $1,025,000 that ODOT will help Michael Lynn and our roads department put in for us. The projects on the stadium, the renovation on the football stadium, and the water line project together run over 1.4 million. They're both in the 700,000 range, a little over. And the dorm project that I mentioned with the queen size beds coming in, that'll happen in June. We're not paying for them, so I don't know what the cost is there, but we're getting a pretty good chunk there. But those first 3 projects that I mentioned alone are somewhere around 2.5 million, plus the dorm projects. So we've got some good things going. Renovation of Jack Brown. We'll see where that goes. Possibility that school could use it, and maybe it can't.
Yeah. Well,
But we got some other things on the back burner that I'm not going to bring up because we've got things to keep us busy for now. But all these things that I mentioned should be in place by August the 1st.
good. Well, keep up the great work,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Qualls. All right.
Thank you, and thank you all for your service.
Enjoy the weather. Janice Randall, Cherokee Nation Foundation.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
So I hope that everyone received my report that I had emailed out to you. And And I've just been there a few months, and in the past, the focus was on revitalizing the Cherokee language, and as well as there's 40 scholarships given throughout the foundation. And we have a new board as well as new director, and we decided that the Cherokee Nation is really doing a good job at revitalizing the Cherokee language. So we would like to focus on getting children ready to go to college, to have a vision for their future. And so we're starting, and you can see the numbers on our junior achievement program. It starts with 5th grade, and it goes all the way through to 12th grade. And we go into the schools, and they finish a unit, and it's really deals with the financial literacy. And a lot of our board members have been down and visited our office and are seeing what the programs are about, and have even volunteered. So the schools that we've been dealing with, once they see the excitement in the kids and doing the financial literacy, and it's kind of a fun way to do it, it's not like sitting in the classroom. They're really excited and they want to do more and more. And so that's the first thing that we've done. And in the past, when I looked over the records, it had been done, we were doing the JA programs mainly in Catoosa, Claremore, Justice, Taiwan. As you can see, the Rogers County. And then as I took over, we decided we're just going to go county by county and try to reach everyone in each county. And so it's more of an equal part. And then the other thing that we're doing as they're getting ready to go to college, we're doing the ACT prep. And we're trying to find a central location, and we've been using the VOTEX. We started at Sequoyah County. We invited all the counselors in Sequoyah County to come to the VOTEC. We told them about our programs, and we set up our first ACT prep there last month. We were going to take 30 students. The first day, 26 students signed up. And so we're also doing one in Muskogee County right now. And as we progress, we want to go to every county and find a central location to do that. And on the sides over here, it explains, you know, what they're doing. The scholarships that we had online, they closed and they will be announced probably the 1st of April. The only one that is still online is for 7th, 8th, or 9th graders that are Cherokee, and it's called Cherokee Scholars. It's open till April 1st. And if you know of a 7th, 8th, or 9th grader that is Cherokee, all they do is go online. They put in their CDIB number. They write a small paragraph about the vision for their life, that they want to go to college. They want to, what their interests are. And then they update that little paragraph because, you know, at a young age, they don't know really what they want to do. They're interested in everything. And so then when they are seniors and they are going to college, they'll receive $1,000 every year they stay in college until they graduate. And we're also doing, this summer, we've always done a Cherokee College Preparatory Institute. Last year was in Arkansas, and it was a great success. We're going to do it at OSU this summer, and it's for sophomores and juniors. And that closes, the deadline for that closes March 31st. This year, we've also going to do one at NSU, and that one will close April 4th. So if you know of any juniors and seniors in your districts, sophomores and juniors in your district that would like to do something, they live at the college, they live in the dorm, they get the whole college experience. We have admissions officers from Harvard and Dartmouth and OU and OSU and TU, University of Arkansas. There's like 25 admissions officers, and they get to learn how to write an admissions essay. And last year, the University of Illinois offered them, the ones that went, 83 went, $48,000 to attend toward the University of Illinois. So We've also had a new location. We're on Main Street of Tahlequah, Muskogee Avenue. We're right across the street from Moore Brothers. We just got our sign up. We're pretty proud of that. And we've had lots of people stop in. We've had lots of people calling, find out where we are, and come down and see what we have to offer. So, do you have any questions?
Councilman Lee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This really is a good program. You're going county by county this year, I guess. How are you reaching out? How are you telling students and sometimes parents of the programs that you're going to bring?
Well, we have it on our website, like I say, and we are going into the schools and talking with the teachers and with the counselors and seeing, even at the 5th grade level, we're seeing who would be interested in doing these programs and what they're interested in and how we can. And I've been in education 43 years, and I've done lots of Indian education programs as well as been a teacher, and I have a lot of contacts. I think that's really helped me. I have a lot of contacts in the schools, and so we used to have to really go out to the schools, and now we can just make calls. We have contacts. I can go out and visit with them and explain a little bit and see what they're interested in. It has been a challenging year because of the snow, though, because now testing's coming up, but as you can see, just since November, we've done Adair County on the JA part. We've done Cherokee County, and before, when you saw Cherokee County, it was just mainly the immersion school and Sequoia High School. But we have been to Keys High School, we've been to Tahlequah High School, and we're setting up at the VOTEC for Hulbert or any of the students that were in sports and that might have missed. We've been to Delaware County, and like I say, we've been to Sequoia County. So,
Is there an attempt to reach parents? I'm talking parent, the teachers and the students are kind of a captive audience for you. Sometimes I wonder if we can have the parents involved, would you have a bigger turnout?
we're trying to do mail-outs also to the parents for that reason.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Speaker George?
On the Cherokee scholars, that's the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade,
Yes,
we're gonna do 60 of those, or approximate, or is there a defined number?
well, we only have 7 people that applied so far.
Okay, but they have till April. I noticed there was 60 last year, but almost half looks like almost half in the past has come from one place.
Right.
Can you get a letter out to our schools, and if you'll copy me with that letter, I'd also like to send another letter with it to all of them in Cherokee County.
Okay.
Because maybe the dependent schools, they go to the 8th grade, maybe we can generate some interest there. It doesn't look like we're hitting any of them right now.
But we are, I've been to.
I know
yeah.
you are, but
Oh.
I don't think we have in the past.
Right, and that's our,
'Cause
we
you and
want
I-
everyone that hasn't been hit in the past to know about things that are happening.
And that's for 7th, 8th, and 9th graders.
Yes.
Okay. If you would copy.
And if they're in 6th grade and gonna be in 7th, they should go ahead and apply.
If you would, maybe if you would be so kind to copy that to all of the council, maybe then we could assist by getting that information out too.
Yeah, I would hope that soon we can send that to you, and so people come to you and they wanna know, what's out there for me from Cherokee Nation, you'll be able to have those answers.
Excellent. Thank you.
Janice? As a federal programs director, I was never informed about the Cherokee Nation Foundation, nor was our college and career counselor in the past at Muskogee Public Schools. And well, since you've been in this position, we've been informed of the opportunities that the foundation offers. And saying that, I appreciate your outreach.
That's exactly why I wanted this job, because I feel like my past years doing Indian education And Cherokee County has the largest Indian education program in the United States, and I'm trying to find scholarships, and I'd never heard about some of these things too, and so that's why I really want everyone to have the
Keep
opportunity.
up the good work.
Thanks.
Council Lady Watts.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I don't think we got this by email. Can you forward that again?
This?
Yes. I've got the hard copy in front of me that was passed out at committee time, but if I could have it by email, that's helpful.
Okay, well, I sent it to
That's
Shelley, and
on
she said she was
electronic.
gonna email it to you.
Okay, so Shelley can forward it out to us.
Shelley
So, or I would like it, please. So, on Cherokee Scholars, I know that we have Claremore has Oklahoma Scholars, and that's why I think we have a large number. I don't know why Sequoia County has a large number of Cherokee Scholars along with this. But I think we've informed Claremore, for example, and they do their own Oklahoma Scholars program, and then therefore they sign up the Cherokee students at the same time. So, as far as I know, Cherokee Nation Foundation doesn't do any of that work in outreach in the schools, so that's a big difference because the business community is going into the school, which is how that was originally designed. As I brought this forward from this Tulsa chamber who does it, it's Oklahoma Scholars. So I'm glad that it's being continued. Now, there's another level too. Is that also gonna be funded? There's a level above Cherokee Scholars, and I can't remember the name of it. So if the folks were going to agree to have more than a 3.0 or 3.5 GPA, and they were gonna reach a little bit higher academically, there was gonna be another program. It was more like a REACH program, and I can't recall what it's called. Wheezy. No, that was something else. So it's part of Cherokee Scholars, but it has a different name.
I don't know, I'll
So
have to check that.
would you, and let us know? And then when you are doing outreach, I'm also, because I used to get news releases, and maybe I've gotten a couple in the last so far. So will you send that out? Because I know I have a personal distribution list straight to those Indian educators and some parents to make sure they know about it. And I'd like to get that out as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr.
All right,
Chair.
thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Keener?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've kind of lost track. We're going to, there's been a nomination for another board member that will be in front of us tonight. Will that be 7 or 8 board members?
We have another nomination tonight.
I see that on there.
We're gonna confirm Tanya, but she was already on there.
Yeah, well, oh, yes, that's right.
She's been on there,
Yeah, that's right.
4
We're
years.
going to reaffirm her.
right.
So how many, do you know?
I said,
We got 7, Mr. Keener.
7,
Yeah, I believe so.
counting 6. Who's the 7? 'Cause we just got Carol, was a new one from Tulsa.
Jay?
Jay, that's it, 7.
And
Jay's going off in
then July.
some, yeah. Unless he's free.
All right. And then on staff, do you know,
I have 4.
are they all coordinators or?
2 are coordinators, and one's a ACT prep teacher, she's part-time, and then the other's just a receptionist.
And you said you were going to discontinue the language portion of the CNF, and so I guess kind of what we have in front of us with the junior achievement and the ACT prep and.
ACT, mhm.
Yes, and other scholarships, Cherokee Scholars, that'll be your long-range plan for the next
Year.
year, 1 year? No, how about your 5-year plan?
Well, because, we haven't even had, our whole board, we've been getting a board member like every time. So we just changed our vision plan and got this plan for this year. And because of money, we're just gonna see where we're at and how we're doing at the end of the year. So
All right.
we have not come up with a 5-year plan.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Speaker Jordan?
Yes, Janice, anything that you need to provide to the council, if you will provide that to Shelley, then Shelley will be able to get it out to all the council.
Okay.
So if there's any announcements or policies or any information that's requested from us, if you'd be so kind to send that to Shelley, then she can get it out to everybody.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Councilwoman Fulbright? Yeah, Janice?
Yes,
Hold on.
I have a
Janice,
question
Miss
for-
Randall. We're not done with you yet.
I have a question for you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was
We just
looking
got
at
started.
this chart, and I know you said you were trying to have an outreach program to all the different counties, but this one right here up in the corner, this is students served by county for 2013, 2014. And Rogers County had 1,600 served, and for instance, Sequoia County, yeah, had 104. And several of these is just non-applicable. I would hope that this is spread around, I mean,
Well, this 1,662 is before me.
oh,
Okay,
okay.
and then, under that is since I've been here. I've been here 4 months. And that's what I'm saying, I'm trying to go county by county and spread it around. And
Well, I know that several schools in Sequoia County, because I've always been a school person, are not even listed on here anywhere, and I'm sure that's maybe the situation in some of these other counties also.
that's because it's junior achievement, and so we have not gotten to, that's what I'm saying, because of a few of them, because of the snow days, and it's financial literacy, you have to do a class, like in math, and they just didn't have the time to work it in yet, and so, but we are making contacts and seeing who would be interested going forward.
Well, I do know about it a little bit. My husband was the elementary principal last year at Central, and they participated in it, and they really liked it, but I didn't see very many other schools listed. But I'm glad you're making a real effort to spread it around to all the counties.
The problem is really that it has been such a great program, and everybody that we've gone to said, oh, well, we want to do that again. We want to do that. We want it to be a 5th grade thing. And so that's why we're just going to try to do it this year and see how much money we even need to expand it.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Janice. Cultural tourism, Molly Jarvis.
Hello, we're bringing to you today our quarterly report from March, and we are just beginning our tour season for this year. The spring kicks that off. Right now on the capital projects front, we are working on a couple of things, and one is still the new gazebo design for Capitol Square, and we are working through our bid process at CMB to select our architect to design that gazebo. And then we are working with the Cherokee Community Outreach group to plan free community tours for all the Cherokee community organizations. And they disseminate information to all the organizations, and then we offer those tours free to any Cherokee community organization that wants to come and take a tour with us. And then, of course, we are gearing up for the event in Washington, D.C. at NMAI. It's just a month away. So we have for you, we printed off agendas for each day. If you're interested in seeing what's going to be happening, we can email, or we can leave those with Gail, and then we can also send Gail an email with that attachment there as well, so you can have the agenda for each day and see what's planned for the event. And that's really what I have. If there are any questions for me.
Speaker Jordan.
Would you just be sure that Gail gets that agenda today? 'Cause
Sure.
Several of us need to.
Okay, we'll leave hard copies for her right now, and then
Email to.
yes,
Thank
email it
you.
immediately.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And tell Ann and I we thank you for your report.
I will do that.
Commend you on your taking on the gazebo project. You did a good job with that, Mom.
We're driving to get that done and ready to go by the holiday, of course.
Any other comments, questions? Great report. Molly.
Thank you.
Enjoy the weather. All right, under old business, we've got discussion and possible action. Speaker Jordan.
Yes, I think you have before you Dr. Gloria and Bill Ando brought us information this time on
Just the shirt sticking.
the number of young people that we have that are on a doctoral or master's program that will have unfunded semesters in the event that we don't make some provisions for them. And of course, this gives us a pretty good idea of what the pool of applicants has been this far. I think it was something in the neighborhood of about 20, is that right? About 20, and we're right now currently only funding them for 2 years or 4 semesters, I guess.
I believe so. Is that right, Mandy? Six semesters, and so that was one of the ideas that was kicked around, was extending that fundable semesters.
Okay, and if we extended it, would we have an idea of money, what it would cost to extend just these right here?
I think we can calculate that. I do think it's a build it and they will come scenario. I mean, if you simply, it's simply not feasible in many cases, and so I think some students just don't even proceed with us. I'm also, it's an assumption, but I'm also assuming that some of these students are going to summer sessions which are unpaid, and that's why they're able to accomplish some of these degrees at a little bit quicker time than I expected. But, yeah, our current funding of 6 simply is not enough for most students to achieve a doctorate degree.
I guess where I'm going is, let's see what the cost is to fund this current pool. And let's do some sort of sliding scale if they're working and they're only carrying, say, 2 classes. I'm not, in my mind, I don't have my mind wrapped around giving them a full scholarship. But I have I think we could do something for them to keep them moving along. Most of these areas, I think, are needed areas. We might want to define whether we want to do all areas or certain areas. So I'd like for you to kind of work in that direction, maybe work us up some draft ideas.
Dollar figures, okay.
Is this, David, the way you kind of wanted to move this along?
Chief Burr?
Hey, Mandy, would you please, back to the question is, do we need to be specifying the area, or would you keep it general?
As far as the program?
Yes, because you deal with these people on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I mean, the way our program is set up, it's just undergrad and grad.
Yes.
So all of these people are falling under the grad.
Okay?
And then again, it's self-identified as, in which some of these kind of may not even be on here, like the human service one. So it's really kind of, we just really need to go back and double check and really get with these kids. I mean, the system is new as far as the tracking
Sure.
of this, but there may even be more out there, but if we had it maybe labeled more specific for them under that grad program, but I think they do need to all stay under the grad program.
Keep in mind that the grad and the undergrad is all out of the same budget.
Okay.
So it's not separate line items.
Okay, Councilwoman Taylor?
Well, speakers left the room. Well, you're a sponsor on this also. I would like to explore the possibility of doing this by hour. It was, Councilor Glory Jordan touched on this, but doing it by credit hour rather than by semester, because like she said, if they're working and they're dragging it out over the course of 5 or 6 years, perhaps we could look at funding it per credit hour rather than per semester.
Thought?
That was brought up at Intertribal and Education Committee that some of the other tribes are doing by the hour.
So you're okay with that?
I'd have to look at the numbers, actually. I mean, I'd discuss it further, and that's what's great about having Dr. Morton as Senior Education Advisor. I mean, those are kind of questions that I would want to sit down with him and get a real perspective on what that would mean.
Yeah, it's just discussion right
Okay.
now. Yes, that's
Thank you,
Ray.
Mr. Chairman. One thing that that I want to ask again. I think I heard it last time we were here, that we're not going to take away from the bachelor's students to fund the doctoral students. We fund the bachelor's first. Is that how you work?
That's certainly that's where we sit in education services, is that we would fund the bachelor's first. It does not mean, though, to be cautious on the statement, it doesn't mean that we would have someone applying for a bachelor's degree, say late in the funding cycle, and get denied. I mean, we necessarily can't sit on all of those bachelors and then let the graduates in. It can't quite domino like that. That's part of the challenge with the scholarship program, is that, they're all going to college at the same time, so we have to fund them at the same time. But our emphasis is on making sure that all of those wanting a bachelor's degree get a bachelor's degree. So as exciting as this scenario is, including expanding graduates, we're concerned. We're concerned about our ability to take care of those students looking for undergraduate degrees. Hope that answers your question.
Chief Byrd.
Would you give us some scenarios next time on that funding? You've got, if we're running out of money for the undergraduates, and one's late, and we fund a doctoral person, usually we can pick them up in years past. So give us some scenarios on what you would recommend there.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'd also refer back to the report that we gave you before.
Yes.
And to look at, and you can see in that report is a growth chart, and so we don't see any indication that that growth chart's going to change much. That will continue on our steady increase in demand.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the doctoral program?
I'd like to
Yes,
table
Speaker.
that for one more month.
Okay, motion to table.
Second.
Second, all those in favor, say aye. Okay, motion passed. All right, going down to new business. A resolution supporting coalition. Chief Byrd, would you like to take this?
This is a resolution supporting Oklahoma education and coalition funding. And I think this is just a support group, making sure that our funding stays at the level that it needs to. Markenstick, you may explain it further.
Well, currently there's 678,000 students in public education across the state of Oklahoma. And right now the state gives approximately $230 million below the pre-recess levels, which has made a huge negative impact on our education. And so this coalition is simply just to offer support from the tribe, Cherokee Nation, that we are behind the public schools, and that we will fight for them with the state legislators, decreasing funding, but as well as adding more challenges to education with testing and retention of third graders if they don't pass their tests and so forth. So this is simply just us getting behind this coalition to offer support.
No cost.
At no cost. Yes, Councilwoman Watts.
Thank you, because I think to Councilman Bird's point, that was my understanding when I read the resolution. It appeared that we were going to help fund something.
There is no fund, zero cost. It's just a letter of support to this coalition from Cherokee Nation. Yes, Speaker Jordan.
Yeah, it is a sponsor.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chairman, I had additional.
Yes.
So will there be a letter from the chief that we're also asking for with this resolution attached? Is what'll be
Yes.
sent out, and who will it be sent to?
The superintendent of prior schools is the chairman of this coalition.
Okay, very good. And then I guess we'll have a news release and those kind of things to help share.
Possibly, yes.
And I would like to be added as a sponsor as well. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to be added as a sponsor? Shelley, just add everyone. All right, there's been a motion and Jack, discussion.
Yes. In the last whereas, in the second line of that, towards the end, should that be existing? In reading it, it doesn't make sense for the exit.
Where's it at, Jack? Okay.
The last whereas, the second line towards the end of the second line.
Go ahead and read it.
Well, the way it is now, whereas the Cherokee Nation supports the Oklahoma Education Coalition as they support measures to protect the tax base of local school districts and support examination of exiting.
Oh, it should be existing. Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Would you like to accept that amendment? Who was it? Who made the
Offered
second?
as a friendly amendment.
Okay. It's friendly. Yes. Okay. Yes, Councilman Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was going to say, I would gladly support this act, or resolution rather. And I know the Oklahoma Teachers Association, Classroom Teachers Association are all behind it, and other organizations. So I think it's very good that we do support our school education system and schools and teachers. Thank you. I'd be glad to support it and add it as a sponsor.
All right. Thanks. Any other discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Announcements. Next meeting's going to be Monday, April 14th at 3 o'clock. To motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. Need a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion adjourned.